Hey there friends on YouTube, it's the JTL. I am back again, and today I'm going to start a brand new series called Keep It or Return It. This is a game I usually play by myself, but I figured I would include you folks since you've been watching my review videos, and oftentimes when I get something to review, it goes back to the store and I get something else. So why not share the whole experience with you? Keep It or Return It, a JTL series. Let's go. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the Sonos system. If you guys have been paying attention, if you've been watching my videos, then you know that I, a few months back, bought a Sonos system, two Play 1s, a Play 5, and a Playbar, and dropped about $1,400 in order to put those around my home and try them out just to see if they could replace some of the big clunky stereo equipment that I have all around. And so today I guess I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about that whole thing, but also I'm going to talk about the Sonos system as a whole, whether or not it was right for me, who it might be right for, and what I ultimately decided to do. Did I keep it or did I return it? Okay, so the first thing that got me interested in the Sonos system was whether or not it was better than Bluetooth and Apple AirPlay. Those are the only two other sort of portable speakers that I've used in the past, and Bluetooth is always incredibly clunky. You have to go into your settings, you have to click the device, it has to connect. Then if you're listening to a speaker and you walk away with your phone, then again, same thing with AirPlay. I mean, AirPlay is very clunky. AirPlay doesn't really work all that well. So I was just really not impressed with those. I'm hoping that Apple, I know that now you can do AirPlay to multiple places when you're on a computer. But AirPlay still seems to me like it's not a full-blown solution. Sonos is. It's a whole house solution at, I guess, a relatively reasonable price when you think about the fact that you're getting music throughout your whole house. Anyway, I also wanted to, like I said, see if it can replace some of the stuff that I have filling up my house. So let's get into it. First off, let's talk about sound. The best sounding Sonos, I guess I would have to rank them going from Playbar to Play 1 to Play 5. The Playbar sounded fantastic with music, it sounded fantastic with videos, it sounded great with everything. It was the closest that I got to like a high fidelity listening experience with any of these. Coming into a close second was maybe the Play 1s in stereo. You can connect them in stereo through the software, and that works incredibly well. And that was a close second, if not right up there along with it. The Play 5 was, for $400, it wasn't nearly as good or enjoyable as the others. So I'd say, from the standpoint of great bang for the buck, the Play 5 at $400 was not really worth that much money when two Play 1s in stereo sounded better to me. Anyway, that being said, the Sonos system sounded better than just about every portable speaker that I've tried out. Mini Jambox, Beats Pill, etc., etc. I've tried several of them, and the Sonos system hands down sounded better than them. The question is, does it sound better than a stereo? And well, no, it doesn't, unfortunately. It sounds very good, but when you're sitting down and listening critically, you're in a good listening position, you're doing that thing, the Sonos system is just not going to cut it as compared to even so at $1,400, if you bought a comparable system with that $1,500, you're going to get a much better audio experience. Now, I know that everybody's not into that. I mean, there are other things that the Sonos has going for it. The looks, very nice. Understated design, quality materials. They set up really easily and connect without really any trouble that I had. They're small enough to go in the kitchen and sit on a shelf and put out a respectable sound. The design doesn't call a lot of attention to itself. A lot of people have said that it reminds them design-wise of something like what Apple does, and I don't see any design cues being taken from Apple. I think maybe people are just responding to the fact that it sounds, or I think maybe people are responding to the fact that it looks good, that it's solid, it has a nice weight to it, and you can tell that attention has been put into making it great. a lot of attention to detail in the design of these things. So what's the verdict? Well, I guess really, if I were to try and figure out who the target market was for this, it would be people who wanted to have a nice audio experience throughout their home, who didn't already have an existing setup, who weren't necessarily as particular about the sound that they were getting, and instead they were thinking more about the sort of how everything is going to look with as decoration around their home, and also give them that bang for the buck in terms of being able to go all over their home with the same music. You know, the only way that you could get that without going with the Sonos, as far as I know at this point, is doing something in a whole house setup where that would require breaking into your walls and running speaker wires and blah, 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 and that just isn't really reasonable. So the whole house aspect, I have to admit, was the main reason that I thought about keeping the Sonos in my life. I really like to be able to put some music on from my phone, to walk around the house, select which speakers I wanted it to be on, and you know, my wife could listen to music while she was getting ready for work in the morning, and my wife doesn't listen to as much music as she used to, so I liked that about it. If we were working around the house, if we just wanted to have the TV off and do some stuff, we could have music going, and that was incredibly powerful, just to be able to go from room to room without, you know, I've cranked up the music so I can hear it downstairs. It was really, really nice. But the killer app, no pun intended, well, pun intended, the killer app is the app. The Sonos app really is the thing that makes it all work. You get all the speakers that you own collected into that app that you can select them, and you can select volume levels, and you can really dial it in. And you also get all of the music subscription services and your own music that you have on your local network, all in there with the Sonos app, and you can select all of them, and you can make playlists, and it really is a much more streamlined and useful system when compared to something like Bluetooth or AirPlay by Apple. Both of those to me are way more fiddly, and the few extra steps that it takes to get your music playing are the few extra steps that I very rarely take when I want to listen to music. I want to put on the music by opening up my phone, pressing a button, finding something, and playing it. Not the couple of extra steps it would take to hook up to the Bluetooth device, or to go into Apple and select, you know, AirPlay only works about half the time when I try and use it. Anyway, Sonos was a much better, much more streamlined and natural solution. Ultimately, though, that just wasn't enough to justify the price, especially if you already have stereo setups in your home like I do. Sonos has a solution if you already have an existing stereo, the Connect, but at $350, it's just not reasonable. I get the feeling that Sonos probably wants you to buy their speakers and not their equipment that they sell to hook up your own speakers. So they price it outside of the realm of reasonableness, reasonability, whatever you want to call it. And they want you to buy their speakers. Any one Sonos product is really fantastic. They work great together. And ultimately, the thing that kept me from keeping them is that the price just went way over and above what I was willing to pay. If I could get a dream Sonos system for my home, I'd get 5 Play 1s. I'd get 5 Play 1s, a Playbar, and the sub. And that way I'd have music spread out all through the house. But that's $2,500. For $2,500, I could buy an incredibly great stereo system. And maybe I'm thinking wrong. Maybe that's not the way that you're supposed to think about Sonos. Are you supposed to think about Sonos in comparison to, or in lieu of, a stereo system? That's the only way I can think about it, because I've been buying stereo equipment for my whole life, going on, you know, 30 years at least at this point. So while Sonos is great in some ways, sound is ultimately the most important factor, and the sound just couldn't get up to that level that would make me forego the stuff that I already had. So I ended up returning it. and I went out and got some other stuff with the money that I had from returning it. And it's actually here. Some of it's here in this room right now, and more videos will be coming soon about that stuff and whether or not I'm going to keep or return that stuff. So anyway, Sonos system, great if you're starting out, great if you want some whole house music and are willing to put out a reasonable amount of money, but replacing an existing stereo system, not quite what I think they were hoping for. At any rate, this is the JTL. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Please tell your friends. Please share this video. Yeah, thanks for being here. This is the JTL, and until the next time, I am out.